The goal pretty much all year has just been focused on the day-to-day for the most part. Like, yeah, just training with those guys. It's a pretty easy standard to just have. It's just been about doing all the little things really well. I tried not to compare too much. The entire flow of the year was so much better than last year. Like, just like being really reflective and being like, how many times am I gonna get to do like a training stint or like a lead up to something like this? Maybe I'm doing this in 4 years, maybe I'm not. Like, I really don't know. So just like enjoying it, like, yeah, finishing the workouts and like being like, okay, that was really hard, but this is the best shit that I could be doing right now. Like, I just feel proud of myself for like doing it for no other reason than like the fact that I want to be doing it. I think it's a special thing. Like, I want to be sponsored, but I don't want to be showing up to my job because it's my job. I want to do this because like this is what I like am choosing to do. This is what I want to be doing.
Because the other lady came and she's like, so you got 3 cinnamon rolls, you got the Buddha sandwich.
Like incredible high school career. I was really successful. And then I went to Syracuse, which they had just won the national championship. It was a really cool experience. I had a lot of success in my first 2 years there. You know, training with guys like Colin Benny, who went on to be a 209 marathoner, Vala Germano, who is All-American, and like Justin Knight, who had just barely missed the Olympics. Guys that like were pretty much like my older brothers being on the team.
3 comfy steady, as we call it, and then there's a mile extra, yeah, depending on the course or if Cooper's feeling really good. Get it going.
I always feel like I want to get something out of it, even though it's technically not workout day. But yeah, sometimes Aidan feels the wrath, so depends on the day.
It's good for me. That's what we do this for. We'll do some like stretching and stuff, and then get out of here, get some breakfast, lay low, probably get a coffee, and then we'll do a little PM session, which will be kind of mirrored to this, but we'll do weights and probably shorter, comfy steady. Yeah, just do some like lead leg, trail leg, and some hurdling. Nothing that intense. We're gonna work out tomorrow, so it's usually what I do. The day before we work out, and sometimes we'll work out a lot of hurdles, sometimes not. This will probably be the last time I touch hurdles before I actually race. Sounds like we're just gonna do like tempo 400s and like cut down 300s, so it's like probably the most tapered workout we've done. I don't know exactly how fast it'll be. If tempo's probably like a little bit slower than mile pace, and then probably more oriented towards the 1500 guys. So I'll just try to make it smooth because they'll be cutting down to like sub 25 second 200 pace, and I could dig for that, but I don't really need to at this point. That's kind of that's the dance I play working out with those guys. Like, yeah, even their relaxed days are definitely a hard day for me. I haven't had the greatest last 2 to 3 weeks, but I've been doing the work all year long. Like, I don't need to put my confidence in, you know, those performances because we were still training through them, and you know, I definitely haven't had this consistent of training in years. So just to pull confidence from my teammates is a really nice thing. It's not like I'm training alone and have to be like questioning whether I'm fit or the training works or not.
Pretty much my entire career, I never had a hiccup from the time I started when I was like 13 years old. So I had a femoral stress fracture in my left leg. It was the first time I kind of had to like start looking at questions of like, who are you without the sport? Yeah, my first race back, I had similar pain in my other leg, and ended up getting an MRI and had another femoral stress fracture in my right leg. That was like definitely really hard though. That like to come back and pretty much get put in the same situation again. Really like rocked me to my core for sure. And I ended up like being like really self-destructive as a result. Like, started drinking really heavily, kind of lost a part of myself that was there maybe just because I had the structure prior. Like, I had just had this perfect, beautiful ramp into, you know, show up, do the work. I was just kind of on edge because I hadn't raced over a year at that point. And there was no clear sight when there'd be a starting line again. And at that point, I think I had kind of developed some pretty bad habits, maybe not addressing a lot of the issues that came out of having this spell of time where, you know, I didn't quite have the self-esteem that I was like getting from being a good runner and from having this thing that was completely tied to my identity, but I was actually just a mess. I ended up not racing that fall. I even like took a period at home because I was just in a bad place, honestly. Like I was really struggling with a substance abuse. Yeah, like it was something that was like very low key, but I managed to be like pretty functioning with it. And like, I don't think a lot of people would have even really noticed. Kept training though, kept running. Even with my behaviors, for better or worse, it was something I could never really like get away from. Like the running was still like a saving grace for me, and I was just like maintaining things and like using running as a way to like, yeah, alchemize like what was going on and like trying to figure out what my next steps might be. I was looking at jobs, like deciding if I should relocate. Yeah, somehow like these things lined up and I like found out about this group and they actually like totally took a chance on me. So I just pretty much packed up whatever I had into a suitcase and moved out here, and luckily the guys had me. I pretty much crashed on a couch for a couple months. That was like the Oregon Track Club back then. I just gave it my all. Like I kind of figured this was like a last chance for me. I had some really stinky performances like throughout that year because it was a big transition year, but ended up making it back to USA's. I made the final, and like I was also having the time of my life. I had pretty much like completely changed who I was because I was just like acclimating to people around me. I was like finally finding like the joy and like trying to be the best version of myself again, which I think is the core of like what trying to be good at the sport is. Through my experiences of the highest moments in my running, I always noticed that I was around people that were elevating me. Serving the group like served myself essentially. And obviously like succeeding as a group is just way more fun. Obviously like, yeah, you can stand on the podium by yourself, but like the best moments are like when you get back to camp or wherever you're staying after a meet and you can like hash it out and then you can like reflect on, wow, that was pretty damn cool. Yeah.
All right, we're just doing these 61, 62. Don't be fast, 61, 60. Here we go. On board.
We got one more. Flip it around.
Yeah, we'll give them
At that time when I was like debating, you know, what do I do next? Do I try to keep pursuing this or not? I kind of took a very like sharp stance on myself and was like, okay, maybe I could go and like beg for a situation or a sponsorship or something. Like I also was pretty realistic and had people that were willing to tell me the truth, like, hey, you're not quite there right now. But I also know that like I'm not willing to just go and take whatever situation I can get, and that's kind of where I already had chosen, I feel like, to bet on myself. Yeah, find this dynamic that was like weirdly familiar to past successes. I was like, this is what I have to do. I don't care what it's gonna take to make it work or whatever. Yeah, I had to find a situation that I felt like I could grow in, go bet on that, and then whatever is a result of that is something at least I will feel like it was my choice. I took it into my own hands and like I chose to like go do this. And I feel like through the years, like I accumulated like so much noise. Some of it real, some of it just like completely orchestrated in your mind where you think that you need to do this for this reason, or ultimately you have to like find what is actually like the truest thing, and that is like your own inner dialogue and your own motivations and your own like reasoning for doing things. I transitioned from having a very like one-dimensional aspect of the way I valued myself and valued what the sport gave me And now it's like this more holistic experience of trying to be better at this thing is making me better. It's making the people around me better. It's like improving my relationship with myself. You know, if I can do that and emulate a lifestyle that is clearly like making me happier and giving me more vitality, like physical health, all these things that just come with trying to be a great athlete, then maybe that will like trickle on to my siblings, or like my parents or my close friends, people that might not be doing this to the same degree but could maybe take some form of like tidbit or like intrigue from it.
How you guys have had this goal and how you're executing against it.
We've been doing the stuff that we need to be doing to be set for this day for months. There's nothing really special about it other than like recognizing that like we just need to do what we've been doing. Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. I don't want to be stepping up to the line wishing I should have been doing this more, or I should have been doing that. Like, we've been doing this almost to the point where at certain moments, weeks ago, months ago, I'm thinking, oh, is this gonna be worth it? Like, but you wanna be riding that line, and like now I get to kind of like step into the routine that we've been doing and know that it's like our own and that, yeah, we're ready to go.